Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Bernie here, and in today's video, I am going to show you the behind the scenes look, on how I film my talking head videos. Alright, so here we go. First is, this one is unscripted, and normally I script my videos so that I know the flow, and scripting actually saves me time. Speaking of which, I am using this, I think this one's called Parrot. So first thing I do is that I write down my topic. Next is the thumbnail idea. I have to picture out what is going to be my thumbnail for the video, and of course the title itself. That way I will have a flow or a story to my script. And I use the Notion app. It's kind of like next level to the notepad. The good thing about this one is that, see, you can just use your smartphone right here, and what I'm using is my iPhone 11 Pro Max. As you can see here, this one is 62mm and is attached to my Olympus Pro 12 to 40mm. So once this one is screwed on to my lens, all I have to do is to actually just slip this off like so, and then I will now have this teleprompter. And next is that I'm using the GH5 camera right now. Why am I using the GH5 as my main camera for my talking head videos and not this GH6? It is because the GH5 file I am filming in 4208-bit in 23.98, and it's easy to work with than the 10-bit file on my GH6. So for me to save time, I'd rather use my GH5 for it. And my GH6 is actually my B-roll camera because sometimes I shoot in 5.7K in 23.98. Yeah, I want that a little bit of resolution so that in post I can crop the image with a little to no loss in quality. Alright, next to the camera is my 12 to 40 Olympus Pro. Yes, it's the f2.8 aperture, and I believe this one is set to 14mm. It's just about the right framing for me. And why I chose 14mm? Well, when it's actually zoomed out, you will see the edges of this teleprompter, which is not good, and it makes for a cleaner look. And since we're talking about the GH5, let me tell you now what settings I use. So first, the ISO is 400, and it's actually the sweet spot, and not too bright and not underexposed as well. The next setting is that 2.8 aperture is the one that I have with the lens as well as with the GH5. And also I have the shutter angle at 180 degrees. And of course, I'm using my go-to and my favorite photo style of all time, Cine D for the GH5 and Cinelike D2 for the GH6. So there you go. And now moving on to the microphone that I use is the Rode Stereo Videomic Pro Plus, which is great. The best thing about this mic is that it's instant on, and there's a setting for that. I almost always forget about turning the microphone on whenever I turn on my camera and press record, and just realize in the end that I am not recording audio. And this one is only recording scratch audio just for me to match in Final Cut Pro if ever I am using different cameras such as my GH5 and for my B-roll camera, as well as for my Sony ZV-1 as my overhead camera. And also and maybe you're noticing right now I have two mics here actually, my RE27ND from Electro Voice, which is amazing, a broadcast mic, an industry standard. I use this for my talking head videos most of the time. And you know, the story of this one, when I was a DJ 22 years ago, this was the exact, not the exact mic, exact model number of the mic. And I told myself that one day I'll be able to buy the exact mic because, you know, really the sound is great, I would say. So let me know in the comment section below if you like how this mic sounds. And this mic is actually hooked up to my Samsung MD5, which I also reviewed. I really like it. It's minimalist, it's small, you know, the height is just about right. I don't really have to raise my chair. It looks great, I would say. As well as I have my lab mic right here. This one is the Aspen lavalier mic connected to my Rode Wireless Go transmitter, and the receiver is plugged in now to my GH5, so that later on when I stand up here and show you my other stuff, you can still hear me very loud and clear. What I have right now is this Samsung SyncMaster P2370HD. It's 1080p and it's a 23-inch TV. I got this years ago, and I don't really need a color accurate, you know, monitor. I just need this monitor just to see see if I have the correct framing and if I'm overexposed or not. This one works fine for my needs right now. Alright, now moving on with my other stuff right here. So of course I have my Sharpie, and sometimes I use this for pointing. Let's say if I am doing a video tutorial, this one really helps a lot. And of course my pen, this one, my lens blower, this one helps a lot. And my good old cutter right here, great for unboxing. And this one, my trusted screwdriver when I am changing plates for my cameras. And this one is the Godox RCA5 remote control for my SL60W, my remote control for my TV, and as well as my remote control for my RGB light strip. This one is my controller for my Parrot Padcaster, and of course my phone right here. And moving on now to actually the main table. And this is originally my table for editing because this one is a stand and sit desk, or sit and stand desk, or whatever, and you can control it. Alright, so next, moving on to the camera that I use for my overhead shots. It's my trusted Sony ZV-1, and I made a boo-boo last time that I fried the motherboard. If you wanna see the reason why, you can click the link right here. But right now it's fixed and I paid the price for it. And also for the Sony ZV-1, I actually made a video where I built this setup. This one is my overhead setup for my talking head videos, you know, when I am showcasing products. Actually, this one really helps. Alright, so next is the one behind me. First is this blue background right here. This one is being lit by my trusted RGB light to photo, and this one is my workhorse for my background light, which is really amazing. This one is well built as well, and with aluminum enclosure. The light is so powerful, and this one you've seen before. This is actually, it's galvanized color, and I just painted it white. I would say it's cleaner, It's just a personal preference. From that side, I have my old lenses, and still I have more lenses here. And with my Rebel T3i, I got years ago when I was still starting way back filming using DSLR cameras. And attached to it is the Tokina 11-16, which is well built, and some other random stuff right here. And before I forget, that one, that K21 from Wilight, I actually reviewed that. This one is an amazing light. Look at that. This one is set to 3200 Kelvin, and I'm using it as an accent light. And it's about 35% brightness. And as you can see, nothing is holding it, right? Because it's magnetic and it won't go anywhere. And as you can see behind me, this one is the newer NL288A. And that one is my fill light. And it works great. That one is very powerful. And that's why it's only set at 1%. Really, 1%. And as you can see, it's just in the corner right there. So this one is my tripod that I got years ago. This one is the Vanguard brand. And I just have my Manfrotto tripod right here. This one is a photo camera tripod, but I use that anyway, since this one is just for my main camera for my talking head videos, and I don't really have to move it like a fluid video head, right? This one though, you can actually make this kind of like a 90-degree angle when you're using it, let's say for top-down shots as well, but I seldom do that, and I just use it as a regular tripod. And now moving on to the final one, last but not the least, my Godox SL60W. This is my workhorse, my main light. I love this light combo, and this one is the parabolic softbox from Laofas, and this one, I have been using this for the longest time when I started to get serious with this channel. And this one works like a charm, never skipped a beat. Although there are other great lights available right now, but since I have this, I don't really have a need to replace it because it still works. Maybe in the future, if let's say I'm not happy with it anymore, or if it broke, right? This SL60W is set to 100%. Full blast for this one is the way to go for me. And this one paired with this newer, this one works great. The only thing about this one, you just have to be careful because this one is actually spring loaded. So whenever I turn this, I am careful because I don't want to be hit by this particular rod right here, Way back, I was using a different light stand and it's actually bending a little bit, which is not good and which is not safe at all. And as you can see, this one is kind of like my sandbag. So yeah, it works. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.